Imagine stepping into a luxury palace, but instead of glowing chandeliers and wealthy guests, you are surrounded by shattered glass, peeling paint, and total silence. This is not a scene from a movie. This is the Lee Plaza Hotel in Detroit, a towering 15-story skyscraper that went from being a symbol of ultimate wealth to a giant empty cell. Today we are exploring the dramatic rise, the tragic fall, and the hauntingly beautiful decay of this Art Deco masterpiece. Let's travel back to 1927. The city of Detroit was absolutely booming. The auto industry was minting millionaires, and the city needed place for those newly rich citizens to live. Enter the Lee Plaza. It was not just a regular hotel, it was designed as a top tier residential hotel where the wealthy lived full time. Built in the breathtaking Art Deco style, the outside was covered in striking orange brick, copper, and massive terracotta sculptures. The inside was even more spectacular. It featured imported marble floors, rich woods, and vaulted ceilings painted with vibrant colors. It was a place where people lived like royalty. Imagine waking up and taking an elevator down to a beauty parlor, a library, and a grand dining room that rivaled the best restaurants in the world. But the good times did not last forever. The Great Depression hit the country like a wrecking ball just a few years later, and the Lee Plaza's original owner went bankrupt. Over the next few decades, the massive building changed hands over and over again. It slowly transitioned from a luxury apartment building for the elite to a standard hotel. By the 1970s and 1980s, the city turned it into low-income housing for senior citizens. The grand dining rooms were locked up, the stunning marble was covered over with cheap materials, and the building lost its golden magic. The surrounding neighborhoods in Detroit were struggling, and the Lee Plaza was caught right in the middle of it. By 1997, conditions had gotten so bad that the building was finally closed for good. The last residents moved out, and the heavy doors were locked. However, a locked door could not protect a massive skyscraper. Without anyone watching over it, the building became a target for scavengers and vandals. People broke in to strip out anything that could be sold. They ripped out copper pipes, unbolted heavy brass railings, and literally chipped the beautiful terracotta lion heads right off the outside of the building. Shockingly, some of these stolen pieces were discovered years later, being used to decorate a fancy condo building in Chicago. The Lee Plaza was picked apart piece by piece. Today, the Lee Plaza stands as a giant, decaying ghost overlooking the streets of Detroit. If you look at it now, it's a fascinating mix of complete tragedy and strange, forgotten beauty. The roof has caved in many places, allowing rain and snow to pour inside. Nature has started to aggressively take back the lower floors, with thick green vines growing through the broken windows. Colorful graffiti covers the walls where expensive oil paintings used to hang. For urban explorers, it is a legendary spot. Walking through the empty ballroom with sunlight shining through smashed windows gives you a deeply spooky feeling. You can almost imagine the jazz music and laughter from 100 years ago, still echoing in the damp, empty halls. So, what happens to this abandoned giant now? For years, everyone assumed it would just be demolished and erased from history, but recently a spark of hope has appeared. Developers have announced ambitious plans to save the Lee Plaza, intending to spend millions of dollars to clean it up and turn it back into apartments. It will take massive hard work to fix almost 3 decades of severe water damage and vandalism. Whether it finally gets a second chance or continues to crumble into the dirt, the Lee Plaza remains one of the most incredible abandoned places in America. If you enjoyed this journey into the past, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and tell me in the comments what abandoned places we should explore next.